The rescue team brought the alien aboard the Horizon Dawn under heavy pressure. The escape pod had been found drifting near the Villari Nebula, half melted from plasma fire. No one expected anything alive inside it. When the door was forced open, a thin body wrapped in silver layers fell into the medic's arms. Its skin shone like liquid metal, and its faint eyes blinked as if trying to remember how to live. Commander Elias Kane stood beside the med table, watching the machines hum around the injured being. He was a soldier first and a medic second, but the last war had taught him too much about pain to walk away from it. The alien's chest rose in uneven gasps. Through the translator unit, a voice trembled, weak but clear. "It hurts." Down there, too. No one in the room understood what that meant. The scanner showed no clear wounds. There were burns, yes, but nothing fatal. Dr. Hira frowned and ran another scan. "Maybe internal damage," she said. "The structure of its body is not like ours. It has no organs I can recognize." Kane leaned closer, speaking softly. "You're safe here. You're on a human ship." The alien's eyes focused on him. For a moment it seemed to study his face as if trying to remember it from somewhere. Then the monitors started flashing red. The alien's pulse spiked sharply. A thin crack of light appeared across its abdomen, like a fracture in glass. Kane stepped back in alarm. The light grew stronger, pulsing with strange rhythm, and every time it flared, the alien groaned in pain. "Get the stabilizer," Hira shouted. But the alien suddenly reached out, gripping Kane's wrist with surprising strength. "Don't touch the shard," it said. "It's alive." Kane froze. "Shard?" He looked down at the cracked area again. Beneath the torn part of the alien's uniform, the glow revealed something embedded in its body, something crystalline, not mechanical, not organic. It looked like a fragment of light itself. The surface moved as if it was breathing. The commander's voice came low and calm. "It's going critical. We need to contain that energy or it'll blow out the medbay systems." Hira handed him the portable field generator. Kane crouched beside the table and carefully pulled back the last layer of the alien's scorched suit to reach the source of the glow. When he finally saw it fully, he froze. The shard was pulsing in time with a rhythm that matched his own heartbeat. His wrist monitor confirmed it. Every beat of his heart created an identical pulse in the crystal. Kane swallowed hard. This was no random reaction. The thing was alive, just as the alien had said, and it had somehow linked itself to him. He activated the field generator and surrounded the shard in a soft blue bubble of containment. The glow dimmed slightly, enough for the alien to breathe again. Hira checked the readings. "Energy level stabilizing, heart rate returning to normal. Whatever it is, it's responding to you, Commander." "Responding to me?" Kane muttered. "That doesn't make sense." The alien's eyes half opened. Its voice was faint but clear. "The shard remembers the one who touched it first." Kane frowned. "Remembers?" The alien's eyelids fluttered. "It was made to bond, only to its chosen one, then it went still." The monitors showed deep sleep, coma or recovery, they couldn't tell which. The commander stood there trying to make sense of the words. His mind ran through every xenobiology report he'd ever read, every piece of alien technology ever recovered. Nothing came close. "Dr. Hira," he said slowly, "you think it meant that literally? That thing remembers?" Hira rubbed her temples. "I don't know, Elias, but whatever it is, it's alive. Its energy field behaves like a living brain. It reacts to emotional and biological patterns, yours most of all. Maybe it linked to your biochemistry when you tried to stabilize it." Kane turned toward the observation window. Outside, the stars drifted by in silent beauty, their light bending through the blue haze of the nebula. The Horizon Dawn was supposed to be a deep space exploration vessel, but right now it felt like a floating question mark. He stayed near the med table long after the others left. The alien's face looked peaceful now, but faint blue light kept flickering beneath its skin like lightning under ice. He thought about the voice that had said, "It hurts down there too." Maybe the pain wasn't just in the body. Maybe the shard inside it was crying in pain too. Suddenly a whisper filled the room. "Don't let it fall asleep." Kane looked around sharply. No one else was there. The whisper wasn't from the intercom. It was inside his head. He pressed a hand against his temple and realized the shard's glow had intensified. He leaned closer to the alien. "Can you hear me?" No answer, only a faint hum from the shard. Then a strange warmth spread through his hand, traveling up his arm. The containment field flickered. He tried to back away, but something inside the light called to him, a feeling like memory, like sorrow. Images flashed in his mind. Burning cities of crystal, winged figures fleeing through smoke, voices crying in a language he couldn't understand. And always the same sensation, the pain of being torn apart. When he gasped and pulled his hand back, the vision stopped. The alien's heart monitor steadied, as if his touch had calmed it. Kane stood breathing heavily, staring at his hand. His skin shimmered faintly with blue veins of light that faded after a few seconds. He called Hira back immediately. "It's sharing neural data with me," he said, trying to stay composed. "When I touched it, I saw something. Maybe memories. Maybe it's trying to communicate." Hira looked at him with concern. "That's not possible. You'd need a translator implant or telepathic medium for that. You're not psychic." "Maybe I don't have to be," Kane replied. "Maybe it's using the shard as a bridge." They ran new tests. Every reading confirmed the impossible. The shard was now linked to Kane's brain frequency. Every emotion he felt made the crystal react. When his pulse quickened, it pulsed brighter. When he calmed himself, the light softened. It was as if the shard trusted him. Later, alone again, Kane sat by the alien's side. He wondered what kind of species created something like this. A weapon, a healing tool? Or something far older, something that carried pieces of a forgotten soul. Hours passed. The hum of the engines lulled him into half-sleep until a sudden alarm broke the quiet. The shard's energy had spiked again. Kane rushed to the table, his heart pounding. "Talk to me," he said. "What do you need?" The alien stirred slightly, murmuring something in its own tongue. The translator caught a few words. "Bond. Not complete." Kane clenched his fists. "Then what completes it?" The alien's trembling hand reached out, touching his chest gently. "When you understand." Then it went still again. The glow in the shard faded into a steady rhythm. His rhythm. Kane sank into the chair, staring at the alien and the faint reflection of himself in the medbay glass. He had seen fear and war in his life, but this was different. Something ancient and strange had reached out to him from another world and chosen him without asking why. Outside, the nebula shimmered like a living ocean of light, as if watching silently. The horizon dawn drifted deeper into its blue mist, carrying a wounded alien, a linked shard, and a human who didn't yet realize he was now part of something far bigger than a rescue mission. And somewhere inside the faint hum of the engines, a pulse echoed softly. 2 heartbeats, one human and one not, beating in perfect time. The horizon dawn drifted silently at the edge of the Valari Nebula. Every surface of the ship carried a faint blue glow, pulsing slowly like a giant heartbeat. The shard inside the alien's body had linked to the ship through Kane. Nobody on board could explain how, but every time his heart beat, the glow across the hull answered. Kane stood near the med table, arms folded, eyes fixed on the readings. The alien, Ray of the Ketheri fold, was finally awake. Its silver skin no longer looked cracked, and its voice was stronger. "You touched the shard," Ray said quietly. "You should not have done that. It is part of the Arkan remnants. They live through the shards. Now one has chosen you." "I didn't choose anything," Kane replied. "I was trying to save your life." Ray's glowing eyes met his. "That is why it answered you. It listens only to those who act without selfishness." Dr. Hira studied the monitors. "The shard is still merging with his neural field," she said, pointing to the display. "It's like their minds are learning each other's language. If this keeps spreading, the commander's brain could overload." Ray shook its head. "No, it will not harm him. It only connects what was once one." Kane frowned. "What do you mean, once one?" "The shards were pieces of a single being," Ray explained softly. "The Arkan were ancient. They built life from light itself. When they faced extinction, they divided their essence into living crystals and sent them across galaxies, searching for those who would carry their memory." Kane turned toward the observation window. Outside, the nebula shimmered in endless blue and gold clouds. "And one of them ended up in you?" "Yes," Ray said. "It guided my people for centuries. But during a war, it was damaged. When my ship fell, it called out for a new host strong enough to keep it alive. You heard that call?" Kane rubbed his forehead. He could still feel the faint echo of that strange hum inside his mind. "So now it's inside me, too." "It does not live inside you," Ray said. "It shares you." Before Kane could answer, the ship's lights flickered. The AI's calm voice echoed through the medbay. Warning. Foreign energy signature expanding through Deck 2. Hera ran to the console. It's spreading again, just like before. But this time it's not random. It's forming a pattern. A pattern of glowing lines began to crawl across the walls, thin symbols made of light forming circles and lines that looked like writing. Kane felt a strange pull in his chest. I think it's trying to show us something. Ray stood, still weak, and looked at the glowing shapes. That is Arcan script. It's a map. The lines connected, forming a three-dimensional image hovering in midair, a field of stars with a single point pulsing at its center. The coordinates led straight into the heart of the Velari Nebula. Hera whispered, "That's suicide. The radiation storms there would tear the ship apart." Ray looked at Kane. "It's calling you to finish what it started. The shard believes you can awaken what sleeps there." Kane stared at the map. "We don't even know what's waiting inside." "You will," Ray said. "The shard will show you." The captain's council argued for hours. The science officer wanted to record the data and leave. The navigator warned that entering the nebula was madness. But when the ship's systems began to respond to Kane's heartbeat, adjusting thrusters, realigning shields, the debate ended. The Horizon Dawn had already chosen its course. Kane stood on the bridge as the ship entered the glowing mist. Blue light flooded every viewport. Energy storms raged outside, flashes of silver lightning dancing through vapor. Yet the shields held firm, stronger than they had ever been. "Commander," Hera said from the console, "the shard's energy is reinforcing our shield frequency. It's protecting us," Ray nodded. "The shard defends its host." Kane looked at the storm ahead. "Then let's see where it leads." Hours passed. Deep inside the nebula, the sensors picked up an enormous structure, half buried in dust and light, larger than any station ever built. The design was smooth and circular, made of the same crystal as Ray's shard. "It's a city," Hera whispered. "No, a tomb." The ship descended toward it. As they approached, the symbols on the hull of the Horizon Dawn glowed in perfect unison with those on the structure. The AI announced, "Docking guidance received from external source." They landed gently on a glowing platform. When the ramp lowered, the air outside shimmered like thin glass. Kane, Ray, and Hera stepped out together. The ground beneath their boots hummed. The air smelled faintly of ozone and rain. In the distance stood tall crystal spires, their tips glowing softly. Kane touched one and saw images flash through his mind again, this time clearer. Armies of light, oceans that sang, a world ending in fire. And then a voice whispering through the ages. "Find us," he staggered back. Ray caught his arm. "It remembers you now," the alien said. "It believes you are one of them." "That's impossible," Kane said. "Humans didn't exist when your people fell." "Perhaps not in body," Ray replied. "But maybe in spirit. The Arcan created life in many forms. Maybe humanity carries what they left behind." They reached a circular chamber deep inside the structure. At its center floated a massive crystal heart, broken, dark, silent. The shard in Ray's body began to glow again. "It wants to return home," Ray said softly. Kane felt his pulse race. The shard inside his link answered. "If we merge it," he said, "it might restart the core. Or destroy us," Hera warned. Kane stepped forward anyway. The air around him trembled. His chest burned as blue light flared through his veins. He placed his hand on the dark crystal. The moment his skin touched it, the entire chamber blazed with light. Every wall came alive with moving symbols. Energy surged through the floor. Ray fell to one knee, covering its face as the shard pulled free from its chest, floating toward the heart. Kane felt as if his own soul were being stretched thin between worlds. He heard the same whisper again, clearer now. "Thank you, child of light." The crystal heart cracked open. From within poured waves of gentle blue fire. Holographic figures appeared. Tall beings made of light, their forms graceful and ancient. One looked at Kane with eyes like stars. "You answered the call," it said. "Through your compassion, the chain is whole again." Kane couldn't speak. His mind filled with their memories, how the Arcan scattered their souls across space, waiting for a mind pure enough to bring them home. Ray's voice trembled. "Then it is over?" "Not over," the figure said. "Begun anew. The seed of our kind lives now within the children of Earth. You have become what we were." The vision faded. The chamber dimmed. The giant crystal heart no longer pulsed but remained shining softly. stable. The shard that had been in Ray was gone, dissolved into the structure. Kane collapsed to one knee, breathing hard. Hera rushed to him. "Elias, are you okay?" He nodded slowly. "Yeah, I think so." His voice was soft, distant. "They're gone." But not really. Part of them is us now. Ray looked around the chamber. "Then their story continues through you." Kane rose to his feet. "Through all of us," he said. Back on the horizon dawn, the nebula began to clear. The storms faded into calm waves of blue mist. The ship's sensors showed no more radiation spikes, only quiet peace. On the bridge, Kane watched the holographic map appear once more. The coordinates were gone. Instead, a single message glowed in the air, written in both human and Arcan script. "Protect what you awaken." Hera smiled faintly. "Seems they trust you with a big responsibility, Commander." "Maybe too big," he replied. But there was a calm strength in his eyes. Ray stood beside him, still weak but alive. "You were chosen for a reason," it said. "Not because you were strong, but because you cared." Kane looked out at the stars. "If caring keeps the universe alive, then maybe that's humanity's real power." The ship turned slowly, leaving the glowing ruins behind. In the silence of space, the faint hum of the shard echoed within Kane's chest, a soft reminder that somewhere, deep inside the heart of the nebula, the light of the Arcan still watched, waiting for humanity to rise and take its place among the legends. The horizon dawn vanished into the starlight, carrying its crew, a new bond between two races, and a secret older than time itself, one heartbeat shared between worlds.